Every day we hear about a new Marvel project that's going through massive changes or delays. We've got knockoff Captain America's truckload of reshoots, and shows like Ironheart which they've considered not even releasing, even though they've already been filmed. If Marvel's production nightmare team had a captain though, it would easily be the Blade movie. This thing has been a disaster since it was announced 5 years ago, and it somehow keeps getting worse.
Everything is falling apart.
Pretty much everything got delayed because of the thing I won't mention that shut the world down for almost a year, and Blade was no different. You can't really blame Marvel on that one because again, everything got delayed. Then we heard Mahershala Ali wasn't happy with the script, and once we all saw what they expected him to put up with, it wasn't hard to see why he was annoyed. They turned him into the fourth lead in his own movie and stuffed it full of unspecified life lessons, which it's safe to assume had to do with female empowerment since the three main stars of that script were strong female girl bosses. So of course Mahershala wasn't happy with that, and they went back to the drawing board. They tried to sneak in another delay by announcing it alongside some Captain America 4 reshoots, hoping that those months of reshoots would hide the tiny fact that this movie was now being released over 6 years after it was originally announced.
You serious?
Cut to present day, and apparently Blade is getting a brand new writer for the 7th time. Their last writer left the project, and now they brought in someone new to make significant revisions. About 3 months ago we heard they retooled the whole movie to no longer be a period piece, and if that kind of timeline decision sounds familiar, it's because something similar happened with Madam Web. They thought Andrew Garfield would be their Spider-Man for some reason and wrote it to match his character's age, but then they had to change it all once they were told to make it work for Tom Holland instead. In this case, it wasn't a mistake. They genuinely thought it would be a good idea to make Blade a period piece. This quote sums up how dumb it would be to set Blade in the past, because just like we all said about the Eternals, it makes no sense that none of the heroes would have known about this. If Iron Man found out about someone as small time as Spider-Man, are you honestly telling me he didn't know about Blade or the Eternals?
Don't ask questions, just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Introducing a new character to an existing universe is not a great situation to be in, but in my opinion the best route is to have Blade be retired at the beginning, which lines up with Mahershala Ali's age considering he's 50 now, and have there be a resurgence of vampires in the present day. Otherwise, like the quote points out, it wouldn't make sense for the world to always have so many vampires that it requires Blade, but to also have it be a secret to everyone else. Then we have this bit, which really isn't news, but it's still worth talking about considering who it's coming from. John Campea says that he sees Mahershala Ali leaving the role of Blade in the very near future. He mentions the good old scheduling conflicts excuse, and honestly, I could easily see that happening. Marvel has been yanking this guy's chain for almost 5 years now, and he can only put his career on hold for so long. Again, this isn't any kind of rumor or news that's out there, just someone's opinion, but it's not hard to believe that by this point, Mahershala is probably tired of dealing with all this MCU nonsense.
I'm done. I'm done.
So whether or not Mahershala Ali ends up as the infamous Daywalker we know, one thing is true, we are getting a Blade movie. Eventually. And it'll be set in present day, until this writer leaves too, but at the very least, we know Blade will be in it. Unless they replace him with his daughter and write him out of his own movie again. I guess what I'm really trying to say here is we know absolutely nothing about this movie. Marvel can't seem to make their own minds up after 5 years, and as a result the plot and timeline keeps changing with the wind. I'd say at this point, we're more likely to see Wesley Snipes play Blade in Secret Wars before we ever see the rebooted version in the theater.